Good morning. These are going to be the steps 27, 28, and 29 of the EX5-8 bonus project. These steps are what is included in EX Module 7, which we didn't go over. So I'm going to show you how to do those steps so that when you submit your project, you can get full credit for it. All the other steps, 1 through 26, you should be able to do on your own. So, step 27, we start on this registration entry worksheet, and it says switch to the Visual Basic editor and edit the registration entry macro so that the range B3 through B10. .select command will select the range B3 through B11. Well, that's easy enough. So we're going to go up here to the top. Let me get my little box here, and we're going to click on macros. So click on macros and you'll see registration entry, and we're going to say edit. So we're going to click on edit, and it opens up your Visual Basic screen. Right here is your select command, and unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's already recorded the change that I made earlier, but your version is going to say range B3 through B10 .select, and you just need to change that 10, which that's what it would have looked like, to an 11. That's all you have to do. Click your Save button up here at the top, and then you can close out of your Visual Basic editor. Okay, that is, so after you do that, then you're going to switch to the registration record over here, worksheet, and you're going to run the macro. The shortcut key to run this macro is your Control key plus the K key. So if you hit Control and K, then it's going to do a few things, pop you over to this other screen. If you go back over to the registration record, you're going to see it put information in there, which is exactly what we're wanting to see. So that's step 27. Step 28, switch back to viewing the registration entry worksheet, which I did. Add a macro button to the worksheet in the range A12 through B13 that is linked to the registration entry macro. So what we want is right in these two rows and columns, we want a button that says, you know, that you push the button and it runs the macro for you. That way your user doesn't have to know to press Control K. So this is easy enough. This is done through this insert command up here under controls. Right there. So we're going to say insert, and we're going to, under form controls, this first one is a button. So we're going to say insert a button, and you're going to draw a spot for it. And we are going to assign a macro that says registration entry. That's the macro we want to run. And say OK. And then you'll see it puts that button in there. And you can resize it a little bit if you want to, but if you drew your box well enough, it's going to be where it needs to be. And then we need to change the name of the button. So we're going to edit the text. We're going to change the name of the button to record registration. So just copy that and say record registration. And click out of it. And so now you have a button. And if you were to click this button, it's going to run that macro. And then finally, step number 29, we're going to protect the registration entry worksheet without a password. Do not change any of the default protection options for the worksheet. Okay, so this is done under the Review tab. So here's the Review tab. If you click on Review, you've got Protect Sheet, Protect Workbook, and Share Workbook. Well, we want to protect the sheet, only this sheet, which basically that means once you've protected it, you can't really make any changes. It's trying to keep you from, well, I shouldn't say that. You can make some changes, but you can't make a lot of changes. Like you can change this information, but you can't change anything in here because they've protected those fields. So I'm going to say Protect Sheet, and it's going to pop up. We do not want to put a password, no password. And then it says select lock cells and select unlock cells, which is exactly what we want to do. And say, OK. And that's all you have to do. Once you're done with that and you've done all your other steps, double check the pages in your instructions that all of your worksheets look like they should. Save it and submit it, and you should be good to go.